Check out the brand new shirts, including Trusty Blue and the Sting Money design, over at ProWrestlingTees.com/616entertainment. This video is also brought to you in part by the Patreon producers, without whom content like this would not be possible. Dan-Dans, welcome to a brand new show under the 616 Entertainment banner. This is Sting Money. You know what I'm saying? This is a Wrestling Retrospective Podcast. This is episode 1. My name is Ian, and joining me for this maiden voyage, this inaugural podcast, is none other than twitch.tv/Stoke Comedy's own No Taxes Nigel Bravo.
It's Sting! It's Sting! Oh, yeah, well, you know, I like being the first, and, you know, being the first on this show, it's an honor to be here, Ian.
So, I mentioned real early on that the Dan-Dans can go check you out, twitch.tv/Stoke Comedy. That's Crow with a K, comedy with a K. But they can also listen to your beautiful music. Tell us about your bands before we get into this show.
That's true. You can listen to Act of Destruction, which is sort of melodic, heavy, death metal. It's hard to describe it, but if you like fast music and guitars, you'll probably like it. I got other projects I'm in, but I don't, you know, who cares about those? Listen to Act of Destruction. That's the best. Oh, I also made a song about Army Hammer being a cannibal. I'm real proud of that song.
You made that song, and you also, the Dan-Dans have seen you on the YouTube Take Two. The Dan-Dans have seen you on the 616 Entertainment channel rather recently through the Castlevania Bloody Tears cover that you did with your brother Johnny Bravo, as well as the Resident Evil 2 Save theme cover that you also did with your brother.
Dude, those covers were top-notch. They were a lot of fun to do.
They were real good. And any time that you come up with another one you want to do, just let me know. And we'll... Here, like, I put in the description, but I also want to put out verbally. All I did with those was click upload after you sent it to me. You did all that.
Yeah, it was real fun. That Resident Evil 2 Save Room, probably one of my all-time favorite video game songs.
It's one of the best ever, without a doubt.
I think we did it justice. Let me just say.
You didn't do it Justice League, the Zack Snyder version. You did it actual justice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Judge Dredd style justice. You know, I am the law, motherfuckers.
You know what? We were originally going to cover WWF WrestleMania X7 on this show, but now we're not. We're going to cover Dredd, the film.
With Carl Urban? Amazing.
No, Dan-Dans, there's a spoiler. As if you didn't know from the title and the thumbnail. This is a wrestling retrospective podcast called Sting Money, and we're going to dive balls deep into WWF WrestleMania 17, which took place in Houston, Texas, at the Reliant Astrodome, headlined by Stone Cold Steve Austin challenging The Rock for the WWF Championship. Now, Nigel, I don't know if you know this, but this was, and still is, the number 6 buy rate of all time for any WWE show.
I think during the program, they specifically said it was like the most sold out show at the time, right?
They had 67,000 people there live, and 1.04 million people bought it on pay-per-view.
Jesus. And I was one of those people. Well, actually, my dad was, but he deserves to pay because I was pretty young when this happened.
Now we're gonna be telling our personal stories throughout this show and this episode, but I want to say that I did not contribute to the pay-per-view numbers. I saw this show when I was almost 11 years old at my friend Bobby Morrissey's house, and his parents also did not contribute to the pay-per-view buys because they had a gimmicked pay-per-view box and they got all this shit for free.
Wow. That shady fucking Bobby Morrissey and his shady ass parents. I love it.
Now, sometimes it didn't work all that well, and it happened during this very show. There were a couple minutes we missed because sometimes the box would just scramble for no reason. And Bobby's dad had to come downstairs and jiggle some wires, and then it would work again.
When in doubt, jiggle it. My first grade teacher taught me that.
Is there a salacious story here?
Oh no, not like sex. Like normal jiggling, you know.
To put that 1.04 million pay-per-view buys into perspective, the pay-per-view right before this, No Way Out 2001, did 540,000 buys. And right after this, Backlash did 375,000 buys.
So this was big time upgrade, huh?
It was super big time. And just for WrestleManias, WrestleMania 2000, aka 16, which was the year before this, did 824,000. So we're up quite a bit. WrestleMania 21 was the next show to beat this. So it took 5 years for any show to top this pay-per-view buy rate.
Well, I mean, I believe it. You know, you're telling me these numbers, and I believe it.
I want you to tell me about this opening match between.
Okay, so right away, the pay-per-view opens with Limp Bizkit singing, "It's my way or the highway, my way." And oh my God, I forgot about that goddamn song. I'm not a Limp Bizkit fan. It's fine if you are, but look, I like Korn. I like the you know, the crazy monkey sounds he makes. Because he's on crystal meth were amazing. And there were some heavy riffs, but Limp Bizkit, never was a fan. But that's the theme song for this pay-per-view.
Okay, I have to jump in real quick and say I do not identify as a Limp Bizkit fan, but I have to say that they have some fucking bangers. They just do. It's a fact.
You know, maybe it's the guy's fucking red hat. I didn't like, what was his name? Fred Durst?
Yeah,
he always
Fred
had a
Durst.
red hat. And, what was that album? Chocolate Starfish and the Hot Dog Flavored Water?
See, you know the name of the album here some 20 some odd years later.
Yeah, it's not a good album cover, and it's not a good name for an album.
But you remember it.
Yeah, but I don't know. The song, terrible song.
No way, dude. My Way is a fucking banger.
It would be if he's kind of like whining it, though. He's like a whiny, you could do it my way or the highway. Ooh. But we get saved instantly because Paul Heyman's there on commentary with JR.
Sure is.
And Paul Heyman still had a greasy ponytail at the time. I missed that. I forgot about it.
He had the greasy ponytail that was pulled through the snapback area of the baseball cap.
Oh yeah, it was pure Paul Heyman. Yeah, it's the height of his career, really.
But I said, tell us about this opening match. But before we get to the opening match, I jumped right over the intro, which is you see people of all ages, all races, from all over the world, tuning in to WrestleManias of years past. And we got classy Freddie Blassie, his old ass, doing the narration. And I just want to say that opening was fucking sick. It was chilling. And the WWE cannot do anything like that anymore because they're just not capable of it. They do not. It's so corporate and so sanitized that nothing feels that emotional anymore. They're just not capable of it. And I might get some heat for saying that, but that's the fucking. It's my way or the highway. You know what I'm saying?
To quote Frederick Durst,
it's
my way or the highway.
Is that his real name?
I have no idea.
Should I Google it?
But, I mean, Fred is usually short for Frederick or Frederick Haven or Froderick, if you're a Young Frankenstein fan.
Okay, I have breaking news for you.
What's that?
I meant to Google Fred Durst, but I accidentally Googled Frederick Durst because that's what we were talking about. And according to Wikipedia, his real name is William Fred Durst.
So he's Billy Durst.
Yeah, he's old BD, Bill Durst.
Bill Durst. That's him nowadays. When he was a young punk singing his new metal, he was Billy Durst. Now he's an old man. He's an old man, and he goes by Bill.
He's got 2 kids by the names of Adriana Durst and Dallas Durst.
Dallas Durst definitely sounds like a scumbag.
He's had 2 wives, and I can't pronounce either of their names.
Were they mail order Russian brides?
I don't know. He's actually had 3 wives.
Oh, God.
Fuck Fred Durst. Let's talk about William Regal versus Chris Jericho.
Okay.
For the Intercontinental title.
So, I just gotta say, we go from I know you like that Limp Bizkit song, but I didn't. But Jericho's theme song, Break the Walls Down! Great song. It's better than any of his other themes. His shiny jacket is great.
Hold on. Did you just besmirch, to quote William Regal, the good goddamn name of Judas?
Yes. I think his Break the Walls... Is it called Break the Walls Down?
Probably.
I think that's better than Judas. For sure, without a doubt.
I think you're going to get a ton of heat in the comments. But if we're going to talk about entrance music, I have to give a shout out, and I'll play a couple seconds of it here, to William Regal's 2001 theme. Of course there's a fucking ad. Why wouldn't there be?
Goddamn YouTube jamming you up. Jamming you up big time.
They are jamming me up. I can't believe it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. How about this? That's not the one I wanted! Is it this one? Yeah. Come on, dude. If a guy comes out to that theme song, he's a shithead.
Yeah, he's instantly booed, you know. And, I gotta say, back in the day, dude, I hated Commissioner Gordon, and I hate Commissioner Regal. You know what I'm saying? When I was a young man watching this, I was like, this motherfucking commissioner from England, ooh, he just grinds my gears.
Go ahead.
This whole feud, I guess, by watching the recap, I didn't realize. So Jericho pissed in Regal's tea, which makes Regal a piss boy. Confirmed.
Piss boy. Gotta take the. Oh shit! No, it's Hope That I Don't Miss Boy.
Piss boy. Yeah. You can hear that hit song "Piss Boy" on Twitch TV./Stone Crow Comedy.
Twitch TV./
Yep. But so yeah, the whole feud is Commissioner Regal jamming up Jericho. Jericho pisses in his tea. Classic bits. This match was pretty good.
It was good.
It's not too long.
No, it's not. I wrote down. This is how prepared I was. I wrote down the time of every match. It's actually pretty fucking short. You got Regal and Jericho. You only give them 7 minutes.
I was surprised. Regal works the arm for most of the match. Lion Salt wins it for Y2J because his arm's too fucked up to put him in the walls. I thought that was pretty good.
I like that, and I also like that early on in this match, someone picks up a sign in the second or third row that did not appear for the rest of the night because it probably got confiscated, that said, "I'd rather be in China."
Oh, God.
Not China, Chyna.
Wow.
So
he should have saved that for the China match later on in the show.
I hated William Regal when I was younger because he was such a shit stain, but one of my notes here is I love William Regal because now, as an adult, I can really appreciate him.
Dude, he's way better now that we've grown. Now that we're not shitty kids, bunch of punks. Dude, I get it. Like, if someone pissed in my tea, I'd be pissed.
If someone pissed in my tea, I would probably try to do a lion salt on them, but I'm not nearly athletic enough for that. So I would bounce, my feet would slip, and I would paralyze myself like Hayabusa. I'm sorry.
So it's kind of like Jericho now trying to do a Lion song.
Dude, I'm actually really scared that that's going to happen. And if
he in AEW, like recently, he did botched it and almost fucked his neck, and then the next week he did like a picture perfect one. So who knows?
I know, because people online were calling him old and fat. So he was like, "Fuck you! I'm going to do the best one you've ever seen."
It was pretty good.
It was good. This match was good.
This match was a great opener, I felt.
There was one thing I noticed, and it's something that I think stood out because I don't think they would do it today. The finish is like Regal had taken the pad off the fucking steel turnbuckle deal early in the match. So the finish is Jericho bashes Regal's face off of it. Regal goes down, lion salt. But there was a fuck up. Regal went down facing the wrong way. So instead of Jericho just like repositioning him or Regal repositioning himself, Jericho picks him up, does a quick snap suplex to put him in the right spot, then hits the lion salt. You don't see that anymore. Nowadays, guys will just fucking move. Yeah. They'll just move themselves for no reason.
Yeah, that's fucked up. But good on Jericho for not doing that here.
So
good improv. I noticed there's a lot better improv back then throughout this whole show.
Definitely. And you know what I should have said from the go, that one of the things that we're going to do here, I didn't even explain what Sting money means. Fuck. Okay, I'll do it now. So, if you've never heard the term Sting money before, when Scott Hall was jumping from the WWF over to WCW in the 90s, he wanted to jump over for that Sting money, for that top dollar money. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to watch these shows and we're going to determine whether these shows are worth paying Sting money for. And if they're not, what kind of money would you pay for them? So I didn't even explain that to you when I asked you to do this with me. And so you texted me.
I don't know what this show is. I thought we're trying to win Sting's money.
Well, you texted me like, what are we going to talk about and who are we giving Sting's money to?
Yeah, because Sting has like $8 million, right?
He's got it. At least that much.
Dude, he's probably more now since AEW, but he's a rich man. We're going to give all of his money away only if they deserve it.
So we're going to determine whether the show is worth paying Sting money for, but we're also going to determine who is the MVP of the show, what's the best match, the worst match. We're going to share our personal stories, and then we're going to hit one big old question at the end. But we've covered that intro match. From there, we see Shane show up in the WCW 1 limo. Tell me about this promo that Bradshaw and the APA cut backstage.
All right, so APA's drinking, playing cards. You got Farouk, just rocking and rolling, doing what he does. The door's there, the fucking random-ass door. I forgot about that. That was funny.
That's a great thing to explain to non-wrestling fans. It's like, they're the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, and their office is literally just out in the open, but there's a door. And if you don't knock on the door to come through it, they're going to beat the shit out of you. Show some respect.
Yeah, just absolutely mad lads. And then Bradshaw gets all heated up because he's in Texas and starts spitting some history, right?
Yeah, what the building's about, different matches that have taken place in Texas, and he closes with, "We got a match! Ah!" And then he slaps a bunch of beer off the table.
Yeah.
And
like
it seemed the whole time like Jackie and Farouk were not paying attention, but then Farouk, aka Ron Simmons, goes, "Well, you gonna put it like that? Let's go." Like, okay, now I'll get off my ass for this match.
Funny. So I hate JBL, but I loved Bradshaw in the Acolytes, I like JBL as a commentator because he's so fucking bad, it's funny. But JBL as a character, did not like. But Bradshaw, he was my boy. I used to always play him in video games for some reason.
You son of a
bitch. I'm going to win the title as Bradshaw.
Bradshaw
was crazy. At the time was insane. Like, no one's going to put the fucking belt on Bradshaw. Lo and behold, I was, looks like I was ahead of the curve.
JBL for me is much like William Regal. At the time, he did his job because I fucking hated him. And looking back on it, I'm like, you know what? He was awesome. He was fucking dope.
I don't know. We'll see. But so APA and fucking Taz, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember why they're teaming up with Taz, but I'm a big fan of Taz.
Me too.
And he's introduced from the Red Hook neighborhood, and is that why his son is called Hook?
You know what? Maybe.
Well, dude, I'm a big fan of Hook, let me tell you.
One of the ongoing jokes that I'm seeing on the Squared Circle subreddit, as well as just like Twitter in general, is like people will be talking about AEW. It's like, man, Kenny Omega's the world champion. Like, who do you think is going to be the one to take the belt off him? And there's always someone who's like, definitely Hook. It's going to be Hook.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm one of those people, and you know what? We're joking around, but we're also serious. Like, I'm a fan of Hook. Like, he hasn't had a match, but when he does, it's gonna be great.
There's something about him, because my buddy Giuseppe, like, completely unironically, a week or two ago on AEW, it's like Powerhouse Hobbs, Taz, Ricky Starks, and Hook. And they're standing there backstage, and Taz is talking this shit. And Giuseppe texted me, dude, Hook just looks so fucking cool. He's got a look about him.
He's like a super jacked up Tom Holland, millennial, I don't give a shit, fucking piece of trash, and it's great.
We all know Taz was totally wasted in the WWF, and they don't even like... Paul Heyman does his best to put Taz and Rhino over during this show because they were his boys. But even during Taz's entrance, JR's like, he may be built like a fire plug, but why would you open with that?
Dude, JR, look, I know some people like JR for the nostalgia factor, but he's god-awful. I don't like him in AEW, and even watching these old shows, he says so many lines that it's just like, why would you say that?
I stood up for Limp Bizkit earlier, and I'm also going to stand up for JR. I love JR. And yeah, to me, it's okay.
He's not good at his job.
I don't
Which
mind.
Is fine.
I don't mind that he fucks up sometimes because to me it makes it feel more real, and it makes it feel like, you know, in real life people are gonna slip up sometimes. And one thing I can't stand, and people are, if they have never heard me talk about wrestling, they're gonna know by the end of this show that I fucking hate WWE. The current day shit, like this show is excellent, but spoiler. but like, I hate the current day shit, and I don't watch it. I hate it so much. I'm not one of those fans who complains every week, but I keep watching it. I don't watch it. But my buddy sent me a clip on Twitter the other day of whatever the fuck was going on. Oh, it was at the pay-per-view, and the fans were chanting, "We want Becky." So Charlotte gives the double fingers to the crowd, which was great. And the announcer, whoever it was, goes, "If Charlotte Flair lets the WWE Universe get into her head," and I immediately just turned it off. Like, it's so fucking sad. The WWE Universe. Shut the fuck up.
Here's the thing about JR. Like, I liked him growing up, and I guess I had the nostalgia thing for him, but when I saw him in New Japan, he called a couple shows. God, it was so fucking bad. He didn't know a single person's name, any of their moves. He didn't know what was happening. And I was like, oh, this old man's awful. And now he says sometimes some good calls in AEW, but honestly, I would just rather listen to Taz and Excalibur. And Tony Schiavone.
I'm a Tony guy. I'm a Taz guy. I don't want to be negative, but I'm really not an Excalibur guy. Like, the fuck... Just...
Excalibur at least knows the history of, like, everyone that's wrestling, which you need a guy like that. Especially with JR, who can't even get the names right of who's in their match.
Okay, but if I don't watch AEW Dark or Elevation, I don't have...
Taz's commentary is so fucking good.
It is good, but whichever... I think Elevation is the one that Shivani and Big Show do. They don't really know... Watch that one. They don't know shit. Like, it's like... Someone can hit, like, a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, and I feel like Shivani goes like, "Oh, Canadian Destroyer."
They don't even know the names of the moves. Look, I like Paul White because he plays D&D, but as a commentator, I don't know.
Now that we just did 10 minutes on AEW's commentary team.
Let's get back to the match. APA and Taz versus Right to Censor, who come out to literally the most fucking annoying song I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god. I literally almost turned this off and just texted you and been like, I'm done. I'm out. This song is so bad. Right to Censor. Just a... Oh, why?
That was the idea.
That's the point. That's the point. But I don't want to hear it.
In my notes, I have two things. Number one, I think Val Venus and Goodfather, they threw Taz into the ropes so fucking hard that he tripped. And he
that was good.
He hit his throat off the middle rope. And then, a minute later, they whipped him into the corner and he fucking tripped again. So I don't know if these big guys were just, muscling him around and he couldn't find his feet. Or maybe he clunked his head. Maybe he was rocked as fuck. I don't know. I didn't see it happen. But he didn't seem like he had his legs under him. And I also wrote down that this is just an ugly fucking match. These guys were slamming the shit out of each other. They were sprinting as, you get whipped into the ropes nowadays and it's like, dun dun dun, hit the ropes, dun dun dun. These big sons of bitches were sprinting like football players to hit those ropes. And I feel like you just don't see that anymore.
That's true. I want to mention, Taz's theme was great.
Oh, yeah.
And when Godfather became the Good Father, I think I cried when that happened when I was little. I was a big Godfather fan. I liked the hose from a young age, and I still like the hose. I'm very pro-ho, as it were.
I think what I need to do... I never thought much of Godfather when I was younger. As a wrestler, I didn't think much of him. Obviously, his gimmick was funny and it was entertaining, and there were always the hoes.
I mean, he's a big jack dude, too. He's fucking huge.
Dude, that's the thing, is watching this back... I haven't watched this show back in its entirety, because it's fucking 3 hours and 45 minutes long. And nowadays, WrestleMania is all 4 times that long, which is insane. But... dude, I didn't remember how well Godfather can fucking move. He threw a leg drop and jumped 100 feet in the air.
Yeah, that was big time. Also, I got my notes here. JR wasn't complaining about people being in the ring too long back then.
No, he wasn't.
I want to point out, the whole match, there was way too many people in the ring, not following tag rules at all. And JR is a hypocrite because of this. Let the record show... Because he complains all the time in AEW, and it's just so annoying when he complains. Even if you don't like it, don't bury it on commentary, God.
Now, do we think that everyone was in the ring and it was just a fuckfest because they only had 6 dudes? It was 3 minutes and 32 seconds long. Do you think they were just fuck it, get all the shit in. Just go for it.
Probably. In my notes I got... this match was over real fast. Clothesline from Hell wins it.
Yeah.
Even though it was a mess and really fast, and I don't know why this match even happened, it was an okay match.
They always say on Conrad Thompson shows, something to wrestle.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
I got one more note that says this match wasn't worth hearing that Right to Censor theme song, though.
It certainly wasn't. When you say you're not sure why this match happened, Conrad Thompson will always ask Bruce Pritchard and JR, is this a match that's on the card just to get the boys a WrestleMania payday? And more often than not, the answer is oh yeah. So, I guess that's why. But, it didn't really need to be here. There's 11 matches on this fucking card. 12 if you watch the tag match that was on Sunday Night Heat, which I definitely didn't. But...
I didn't even know about that. Sundays didn't exist. Sunday Night Heat? What the fuck is that? That sounds like some jobber show. Dude, I don't watch jobber shows.
Back in the day, I watched Sunday Night Heat. I watched Velocity, which was the SmackDown equivalent. Dude, you got some great...
I didn't even hear about Velocity.
Velocity was great. That's where you saw so much of Paul London and Kidman and Shannon Moore. There was a...
You know what? Billy Kidman was my boy, and I do like Paul London a lot. So
yeah, you missed some great shit.
Fuck.
We go from this short match to Trish Stratus, looking only as she can look. She is pushing the comatose Limp McMahon
in a wheelchair. I wrote, LOL, question mark? Because I didn't remember why she's in a wheelchair.
We'll get there when it's time for Vince versus Shane, because we get a video package.
And Steph's hair looks ridiculous.
It does. It's that very crinkly, early 2000s look. Here, you know what I do want to say?
Like that late 90s white woman crinkled hair look.
When I was younger, I was obviously attracted to like Stacy Keibler and Lita and Trish. And Stephanie didn't do much for me, but watching this back, bro, Stephanie was looking real good here.
Dude, Linda was looking good in that.
You like him?
I don't know if it was just her, like, being comatose.
Oh, good God.
Well, that got dark. But no, yeah, Stephanie looked good. Trish looked ridiculous.
As always.
Yeah, real weird segment.
Let's just fast forward. We're a half hour into this show already.
All right.
Raven.
Next man, Raven. His hip-hop beat rock music with the cawing of the ravens was great.
I love that theme. Love that.
It was great. We got Raven versus Kane versus Big Show for the hardcore title.
Raven defending the hardcore title in a triple threat. I just want to point out that Raven's the champ. He comes out first. That's fucked up. Champ should come out last. But
it is fucked up. But he had his gimmick cart of bullshit that he had to wheel around.
And I actually wrote down, he's got a shopping cart full of like stop signs, a kitchen sink, part of a tree, and a big rubber Frankenstein.
Terrible supplies for a hardcore match.
And if you...
But... no, continue.
I didn't notice when I was a kid, probably because I didn't really know who he was. But Raven's shirt is a Deathstroke shirt, which is really cool. It's got big bloody bullet holes in it, and it's like Deathstroke standing against a target.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
But we have slow chemical hits, and this might be the best song of the goddamn night.
Wait, hold on. Where did you watch this? Because he didn't have that song back then.
Are you serious?
You must have watched the dubbed over version.
Oh my god. This is ruined.
You got the better version though, because Kane's 2001, just like the Jim Johnson, like is fucking cool, but Slow Chemical's better. So you got a better version than I did.
You know, I watched it on some illegal fucking website, so who knows? Well,
now it's time for full transparency. I have no interest in giving WWE any money, so you found a sweet feed on some website which we won't name, but I had my buddy who I won't name, he found an HD version of WrestleMania 17, completely untouched, WWF logos, not censored out, nothing cut out, so I got that raw shit, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, Raw is always better. And I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking about, it's just a lifestyle choice.
If it was the show, Raw is never better.
No. I liked Kane a lot better when he was a big scary monster with a mask rather than a bald politician. But, so it was good to see Kane as a big jacked motherfucker. He was still crazy. He does his fire gimmick. This match was a mess.
Oh, it was an absolute mess, but I think it was supposed to be.
Kane driving the golf cart, so fucking funny. It makes me want a WWF kart racing style game, like Mario Kart but with wrestling. So motor combat.
When I had David Jaffe on the 616 Entertainment Podcast, creator of Twisted Metal and God of War for the Dan Dancing
Friend of the show, David Jaffe?
Friend of the show, David Jaffe.
What episode was this in case the Dan Dans want to hear it?
Fuck. I don't know. Hold on. Let me go.
Well, it's a great episode. And, he may not know what the fuck a Dan Dan is, but he is a great friend of the show, and we love David Jaffe. We only play his God of War. We don't play that new shit.
You know what? I did play the new shit, and it was really good.
And didn't David Jaffe love it, too?
Yeah, he finally played it, and he thought it was really good. So. It was episode number 285 of the 616 Entertainment Podcast. I actually pitched David Jaffe a WWE kart racer, and he liked the idea. And I said, if only somebody with the skill and product knowledge would be able to do it, David. And he was like, fuck you.
Dude, Bliss in Metal Black, all-time amazing game.
You're not fucking kidding. So good. You know what made me laugh here is like Big Show and Kane throw these big slow strikes that are like, and they scream. A fucking Raven makes me laugh because like if you listen to him, he's like, heh, heh. Like he grabs this hose and he wraps it around Kane's neck and he's like, heh, huh. It sounds like he's laughing.
Yeah, choking him with the garden hose. So this went backstage. It went all over the place. They're driving golf carts, throwing each other through walls and glass. The finish is Kane. So Kane kicks them both off the stage, and then leg drops Big Show.
That was the finish.
That's the idea. I think he missed Big Show, but
well, the finish also sucked.
I wrote super weak finish.
The finish sucked. It looked like shit.
It didn't make sense story-wise either, but...
You mentioned the golf cart spot earlier, and there's actually...
when Raven drives off the edge?
There's a story there. Like, Raven gets in the golf cart, Big Show jumps on the back of it. Apparently the plan was they were going to ride those golf carts all the way back out to the ramp. But Raven fucking steers it just off the edge. He gets like 10 feet and crashes
Immediately crashes it, yeah.
And you can see him trying to like pull it back and it's too heavy. Now Raven claims that he was told that the tire came like within 2 inches of severing this cable that would have shut down the show completely. Apparently that's total bullshit, and it's Raven just being a fucking worker. But
yeah, there's no magic cable on a show this big.
There's not just one big cable.
It's all plugged into one power strip.
But there's a funny part where like Big Show like knocks Kane down, and he has the worst, most like childish shit talk ever. He gets in Kane's face. He's like, "You want to play? Well, screw you." What the fuck does that mean?
I don't know.
But this match goes 9 minutes, 17 seconds. It's a shit show. But it's fun.
Yeah, I wish it would have ended with more meaning or better. I mean, Kane being champ's fine, but he just kicks him off the stage and then misses a leg drop through the fucking wreckage. But
I don't know if it's supposed to be a leg drop or an elbow drop. It looks like shit. That's all I know.
And he gets it on Big Show instead of Raven. Pins Big Show, not Raven. But, yeah, so that was a match.
We got Edge, Christian, and Kurt Angle backstage, and Angle is constantly rewinding, like the week prior, where Benoit had made Kurt Angle tap out. And Edge and Christian are just bebopping around, being dickheads. And they're like, Kurt, what do you think about it? And he's just like, if there's no referee, you didn't tap out. It never happened.
Yeah, Angle's in big time denial, and then I forgot how much Edge and Christian were just fuckboys. Like, they're dressed like fuckboys.
Dude, Christian's shirt is like pink, silver, and green, and I don't even know how to describe it. His shirt has like a million, like 1-inch threads on it that move in the wind. It's an amazing shirt.
It was something you would buy at Dan Flash's for $1,000. I'll just say that. Yeah, so that was fucked up.
We get a live...
I like Kurt Angle watching the tapes, being all pissed off at Benoit. You know, it's good stuff.
I like the live shot at WWF New York of murderer Jimmy Snuka.
Oh, yeah. I wrote, a murderer shows up. Nice.
Fuck the Australian fan. Fuck The Rock showing up and putting the belt in the locker. Tell me about Eddie Guerrero challenging European champion Test.
Okay, so look, I got this. This was a meh match. You know, I like Eddie a lot, but Eddie comes out with fucking Perry Saturn with that stupid ass hat. Test. That's like a Dom Daddy from the 90s. You know.
Do you like it?
I forgot how big he was. But he's a big boy.
He was dressed like a Dom Daddy. The question is, did you like it?
Yeah, you know, I was into it. I wrote down at one point Eddie goes to do a hurricanrana off the top rope while Test is sitting up there, and Test just holds onto the top rope to counter it, so Eddie just falls on his fucking face. That was a cool counter.
It was cool. No disrespect. This is just a fact. Both of these guys are dead.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, if you look at Test, Eddie Guerrero, and Perry Saturn, if you told me 20 years later Saturn would be the only one who's still alive, I would not have believed you.
That's pretty crazy. Look, there's a lot of cheating in this match. A lot of bullshit. Perry Saturn bullshit. Dean Malenko comes out, causes a distraction. Eddie hits Test with the belt and wins.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel. Bad finish. I don't know. This did nothing for me.
8 minutes, 30 seconds long. It was fine. It, like you said, didn't do much for me. You know what stood out to me is
Test had a lot of good tilt-a-whirl moves.
I wrote down he hit 2 fucking tilt-a-whirl moves. He did 2 power bombs in this match. So I don't know if is just him being green and just doing big moves for no fucking reason. The second move in this match is a power bomb by Test. You know?
Yeah, big jackknife power bomb. Yeah.
But Saturn and Eddie Guerrero both suplexed the fuck out of Test, like 2 times each in this match. Test is like 6'7", and these little guys toss him around, which I guess is their strength, but also how fucking athletic Test was. Shout out to Test for that. He goes up for a brainbuster from Eddie Guerrero. He's fucking 6'7".
The brainbuster was sick.
It was sick.
Yeah, Test looked real good in here. You know, I was like, too bad Test died after this match. But the match wasn't anything. I don't think this had to be on the show. No. But Eddie's the new European champion.
In the interest in not making this 4 hours long, Michael Cole interviews Mick Foley. It's whatever. Austin shows up. It's whatever. Kurt Angle versus Chris Benoit.
Okay, so this Kurt Angle cuts a good promo against the Texas flag
on his way to the ring.
He says something like, "You guys forgot about the 49 other stars" or whatever. It popped me. I like that.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle's an American, and you know, Texas, they're the Lone Star State. They just want to be by themselves.
I don't blame him. I can be a bit of a hermit, a bit of a homebody.
Yeah, I mean, and I hate America, so. But you know, I like Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle was great. He's great to hate. I hate the shit out of him. His song rips, and then Chris Benoit's song rips.
Before the Our Lady Peace version.
Yeah.
I do want to say that this is before Edge had started the You Suck for Kurt Angle's music. But here's the thing, I still hear it.
I heard the crowd too.
A phantom of the You Suck chant is in my head. I can't not hear it.
Yeah, it's just the song now. It's too good. Benoit starts the match with the CTE Deadeye Stare.
Oh my God.
The most brutal stare down I've ever seen. And, you know, when you're watching him staring down, you're like, oh yeah, this guy's fucked. But the whole start of the match is just great mat wrestling. Just fighting for leverage. Benoit is fucking putting the work to Angle, the Olympic gold medalist. He's showing him up.
He is, and dude, fucking Kurt Angle. I wrote it down because it stood out to me so much. He was so fucking fast. He was so fast. Like they're tying up, and he just ducks down, go behind, takes the legs out, headlock, take over, does a spin around, gets him in another hold. He was so goddamn fast, and Benoit was like one of the, murders aside, one of the few guys who could keep up with Kurt Angle.
Oh, the start of this match was amazing. And they're eventually just trying to get their finishers on each other, you know, and they're fucking getting to the ropes or getting out of it. It's great stuff, great storytelling. Ref is down. Well, Kurt taps to the crossface. Ref doesn't see it. I also wrote next, it was hard to watch that top rope headbutt now, knowing what we know.
Yeah.
It looked so good, though.
It did look good. And
was it really worth it? I will stay out of that argument.
I think, you know what? Yeah, I've made enough Benoit jokes. I'm just going to hold back on this one. But I like the story that the whole thing is like, Angle wants revenge. He wants to make Benoit tap out. Benoit's like, fuck you, I'm going to make you tap out again. And Angle wins in 14 minutes and 4 seconds because he kicks Benoit.
The low blow.
He kicks him in the balls and then holds the tights for a
Rolls
pin.
up the tights.
He's totally just cheaps out and is like, well, fuck you, I'm better than you.
I thought the finish was lame. Just a weak finish for a great match. I would have liked something better than just a dick kick and a roll-up.
See, I liked it, and even I liked it now, and I liked it back then because I enjoyed the story of Kurt.
That Angle was beaten, had to fucking go dirty. That's fine, but I would have liked something better than just fucking tight roll-up.
Well, this is one of the...
Like, kick him in the dick and then pop him in your finisher or something.
Yeah. This might be the only match on the card where it didn't wrap up here. Like, Benoit and Angle had a rematch at Backlash, and we saw after, backstage, Kurt Angle's like, well, I'm better than him. I beat him. And Benoit puts him in the crossface on the fucking floor.
In the post-match interview, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, maybe that finish is fine. I don't know. It was a great match, though.
We see William Regal backstage. Kamala and Kimchi are raising hell in his office. And he's like, get out of here, you bloody cretin.
You cretin? What you doing in my office? You playing with me bits? That's my William Regal impersonation. $20 for a cameo.
You know what was fucked up here? And, like, I'm not even making a joke about this. It just is fucked up. Is... They show the wrestlers at the Fort Worth, Texas, like, U.S. Army base, and they're, like, visiting the soldiers, and they're like...
Let me just be clear, I fast-forward through all this soldier bullshit.
Oh, well, I'm just, like, what's fucked up is, like, everybody is all smiles, and it's like, it's great to have them here. This is 5 months before 9/11, where every, like, U.S. Army soldier and everybody involved in the military, their lives changed in a big, big way. So, watching this back before that happened in a war that we're still fucking over there. Yeah, how about that? Bit of a time capsule, right?
Yeah, I mean, I fast forward to that bullshit because I'm a rock and roll rebel. I don't like the armies or cops or killing people. I just like playing rock and roll.
What does a rock and roll boy feel about Ivory defending the WWF Women's Championship against Chyna?
Look, Chyna, great gal, love her. Ivory's dressed like Colonel Sanders. She's got the fucking Colonel Sanders tie. Did you notice that?
Female Colonel Sanders, easy answer. Civil War.
Also, I had to hear the goddamn Right to Censor theme one more fucking time. Oh my god, I wanted to Chris Benoit myself.
They got you twice. Oh my god, I don't want to step on that.
They fucking got me with this theme song. And in the promo package, it showed a bit of the history. And dude, bra and panty matches were so fucked up.
They were fucked up. That was definitely a product of the times. You know what? Sidebar here. Nowadays, they don't have the girls do bra and panty matches. They don't do lingerie photo shoots. They don't do any of that shit. I just showed Tara a thing from 2001 or 2002. I think it was 2002. It was like a WrestleMania fan access thing. And it was Stacy Keibler describing how they took a mold of her legs and her ass. And they had it on display at the fan access thing, and all the fans could touch it.
That's so fucked up.
And she was like, yeah, it's interesting to see everybody take their pictures with it. And it's like, that's my butt. And it's like, oh. And dude, all the people who were touching it and posing with it look exactly how you think they look.
Incels.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fucking wrestling freak incels. Well, whatever. But yeah, so...
Wrestling freak incels.
Getting reminded of the dark history of how they treated women, I was not a fan of that, you know?
The dark side of Stacy Keibler's butt. Only on Vice TV.
Yeah, Vice.com/Twitch. So I wrote, Chyna's firework bazooka was fucking dope.
Dude, super sick.
This is just a Chyna squash match. I wrote, awful match. But I'm glad Chyna won, I guess.
I got a personal aside for you. You pointed out Chyna's bazooka fireworks entrance. When I was younger, one of my friends gave his created wrestler in WWF No Mercy, he gave him the Chyna bazooka. And I was like, man, that's I wish I thought of that. That's pretty fucking sick. But I got a little bit of that. Got a little bit of backstage information for you if you want to hear it.
Yeah, I'll hear it.
And this is not rumor and speculation. This is all fact, straight from Jim Ross.
Straight Jim Ross.
JR and Bruce Pritchard have confirmed this. That
and Bruce Pritchie too?
Both of them. I'm a big fan of the Conrad Thompson podcast. I listen to the Eric Bischoff show every week, 83 weeks. I listen to a lot of those shows. They're very entertaining, very insightful. But I don't know. I did not know this. I did not recognize this in hindsight. But Chyna wins this match. This is the last match she had in the WWF.
Whoa, was it really?
She did not. They didn't strip her of the women's title until November. This was fucking April 1st. She disappeared off TV. There was no women's title for months. And then her contract expired and they were like, fuck it, do like a 6-woman match and someone's going to be the new champ. Like 6 months later.
Damn, dude, that's so sad that was the last match because it was not good.
No, and she disappeared because there was shit going on backstage. This is
she
when,
fucking won with, what was it, just a gorilla press where she drops her and then lazy cover pin and it was over.
The backstage reason for her leaving, she claimed it had nothing to do with her and Triple H breaking up and Triple H was legit cheating on her with Stephanie McMahon in real life. She claims that wasn't a part of it. JR and Bruce Pritchard have both confirmed that Chyna wanted a $1 million guaranteed contract. And JR told her, like, there's like 2 people in this company that make that sort of money. And I cannot, with my budget, I can't reasonably offer you that. And she said, well, I think I deserve it because I'm the top draw female. And JR was like, that may be true, but that doesn't mean you're Austin or The Rock. Like, we can't go that far. So they offered her a $400,000 contract, and she basically shit on it, so they were like, okay. And they just let her contract expire, and she was gone.
They should have paid her $1 million. She's the 8th wonder of the world.
Yeah, but here's...
For God's sake.
To do what?
She's female Goro, bro.
That was the other problem. She didn't want to be in this match. She wanted to be wrestling dudes. Like,
her matches with dudes was better.
Yeah, but they weren't good.
Well, no. But
so it's like, you're gonna give her $1 million to have shitty matches with dudes?
I mean, look, they could have fired Perry Saturn.
How dare you?
Dude, his hat was awful, and it pissed me off, and I wrote down several times how much this hat has pissed me off. Like, I remembered it later on during the show, and I'm like, man, fuck Perry Saturn's hat.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's the WCW kid in me, but I love Saturn.
Look, I'm glad he's doing better now, but you know what? Yeah, if that hat just pisses me off, I can't explain it. It sends me into a rage.
What if never mind. We move on.
Linda's drugged up.
Yeah, we're moving on to Vince versus Shane, and we get the video package explaining what's going on here. So Linda's drugged up because Vince, for whatever reason, was like, I want a divorce.
Divorce.
And so she was like so depressed and fucked up that she was super over-medicated.
Ian, imagine your husband, who you popped out a couple kids with.
Of course.
You got he's a very good businessman. You got a nice life in Connecticut, and then all of a sudden he says, I want a divorce. And then he drugs you to bits. Like, you're fucking drooling, you're in a wheelchair. See, I didn't know if the wheelchair was because of something else, but it turns out she's just fucking comatose on benzos and narcos. I don't know. She's doped up. This Vince McMahon Trish storyline is fucking gross.
Oh yeah, like I think we need to. It's gross because he's the owner and like they degraded.
He's just not another actor, you know. Like that's her fucking boss.
Well, and that's where I'm going. Is like he's the owner of the company, and like the storyline is she's willing to be degraded to be in the owner's good graces. He literally makes her like strip practically naked
bark
in front
like
of
a
crowd, bark like a dog, crawl around, and she's willing to do it. But
she's also really doing it in real life, like this.
And not the storyline. The fuck, he's in charge of what storylines get written and what gets passed and what they do. And if you go through history, Vince McMahon has greenlit storylines that have him groping and making out with Candice Michelle, Tori Wilson, Trish Stratus. Go down the fucking list. He probably had that storyline with one of the girls.
And it's so fucked up because Linda was looking so fucking good, bro.
I know you love some Linda.
That's a callback from earlier in the show. So I don't know. That whole package, I was like, oh man, that's fucking gross. Vince McMahon's a piece of shit. He's a pizza shit.
Pizza shit. We should mention that it comes down to Vince versus Shane because Shane he bought
WCW.
He bought WCW, and he can't stand to see his dad abusing his mom like this. And there's a great line in the video package where Vince has some goon holding Shane back, and right in his face, Vince screams, "I will never forgive your mother for giving birth to you."
Which, that's just classic father-son time.
Of course.
And then we got the classic, the contract for WCW says McMahon, but it says Shane McMahon.
Dude,
line.
Vince's eyes when Shane says that, it's so cartoony, and Vince does the cartoon, like, gulp.
Vince McMahon, the person's a piece of shit, but he's a good actor.
He is a good actor. Now,
I got a quote here from JR.
Give it to me.
I think this is during the match. He says, now this is JR, Jim Ross. He says, I think he called his wife a bitch.
And hold on, we're gonna get there. The part you're talking about is Vince is fucked up, where he's on his hands and knees, and the camera shows it's like over Linda's shoulder, so like her perspective, and it's Vince looking miserable, and he literally just for no reason goes, "You bitch." But when Shane made his entrance on your feed, what song did he come out to?
Oh, Vince McMahon's theme song.
Yeah, this is before Here Comes
weird.
the Money.
Yeah, no, Here Comes the Money. I was like, oh, that's weird.
There's a couple weird...
They should have just came out together if it's the same song, honestly. It would have saved us a lot of time.
They come out hand in hand.
Yeah, but they're like giving each other mean mugs. They're fucking shifty eyes, but hey, it's the same song, same guy.
Dude, you have to notice that Shane was like, I want to give a special shout out to some of my boys, some of my new friends from WCW. And then the camera...
Zoom where the camera doesn't even know where.
The camera just like looks at 30,000 people, just like half of the arena, and zooms in on nothing. Like, they had no idea where they were. And they were so far up, it's like he couldn't get the WCW guys some like, even like 10th row tickets. Are you fucking kidding?
WCW immediately buried.
I did notice a full painted up Juggalo in the crowd.
Nice.
Which you don't see anymore. Juggalos still exist, but you don't see them in full paint going to wrestling shows anymore.
Yeah, they probably just go to Juggalo Championship Wrestling?
Is that still a thing?
I don't know. I feel like that just happened in Joliet recently.
I liked if it was going to happen here, it would happen in Joliet. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But I forgot what I was going to say. But that doesn't matter as long as I get out the fact that Shane McMahon has the worst punches in wrestling history.
Dude, this I wrote this is way too long. Oh my god. just terrible wrestling from these guys.
Dude,
Stoner and his son putting themselves in the goddamn show for no goddamn reason.
Not only are they on the show, up to this point, this is the longest match on the show.
See, that's fucked up.
At 14 minutes and 12 seconds.
It was not good, let's just say. Fucking Mankind's the goddamn special guest referee.
This is the first time Shane ever did the top rope elbow to the table.
Oh, yeah, where he misses?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Linda is so comatose. I just wrote down, with no context, Weekend at Bernie's.
That would have been a better storyline if he Weekend at Bernie's her. Like,
she's actually dead.
So, and he's like, it's okay if you bang Trish, because we're opening up our marriage.
Oh my god. Dude, okay though, but Vince props up like the corpse of Linda in the corner in a chair. And he's beating the shit out of Shane with 4 garbage cans. And he's taking turns smashing each can. And every time he smashes a can on Shane, he turns to Linda like, you like that? You like when I beat up your son? Which, that's amazing. But after the 3rd can, Linda stands up. And the pop from the fucking crowd, just of her standing up, biggest pop on the show so far.
Yeah, and we also had Trish turned on Vince.
Yeah,
and,
she
chased Stephanie out of there, I guess.
She chased around Stephanie. They rolled around on the floor. And Paul Heyman
terrible
goes...
punches.
Paul Heyman goes, this just turned from a street fight to a cat fight.
That sleazy son of a bitch.
With that fucking horrible ponytail. But here's the question I have. I realize it's wrestling, and it's not real, and they're telling a story. But logic...
I wrote, why would you tell this story here? At WrestleMania. Like, this is like garbage. Like, no one...
Just logically, if you're Linda McMahon, and you've been, like... not comatose this whole show. Like, leading up to this, she was over-medicated, but in this show, she's clearly not. Why did she wait for Vince to crush 3 cans on Shane's body?
Why didn't she kick him in the dick after the first can?
Or as soon as he turned his back.
Yeah, stop it completely.
So I understand it's the storytelling and they're building drama, but that's just funny. Dude, how about Shane hitting the fucking Van Terminator, that coast-to-coast kick?
Dude, coast-to-coast with the can. It was good. The cameraman fucked it up, but the Mankind was standing in the way, but, it was awesome.
Shane gets the win, 14 minutes, 12 seconds. For as bullshit as this was, I've always been entertained by this match.
Oh, I always like the Vince, Shane shit, even though it's all garbage and a waste of time.
We get 3 quick backstage segments here. The Hardys at like an autograph signing, Triple H just breathing heavy in his locker room, and then Undertaker shadow boxing. And it's like, oh, clearly Triple H Undertaker next. Nope, TLC 2.
Yeah, I wrote, Edge and Christian somehow look more ridiculous than the Hardy Boys. How is that possible? At least the Hardy Boys have like a vibe and like a theme. Like Edge and Christian just look like fucking doofuses.
Straight doofuses. I have to say, I've probably, like, no exaggeration, I've probably seen this match 100 times. Because when I was younger, I used to have a VHS tape of this show, and I would just watch it every time I sat down to play with my wrestling figures. Because this was a really long show, and it would just be background noise while I played with my wrestling figures. And not only just that, but I would go back to watch just this match every fucking day. I loved this match so much because I love the Hardys. And
you love the Dudleys, and you like Edge and Christian.
Yeah,
it was an amazing tag team match.
You knew exactly where I was going.
Well, everyone did. This was the shit. The feud between these 3 teams. It might have been the best part about the WWF at the time.
I just want to say, this is before every fucking ladder match in WWE was the same match. Nowadays, if you're watching a WWE ladder match and it's a Money in the Bank or it's a fucking whatever, every single time they do the big ladder stretched across the ring apron to the guardrail. Someone's going to get put through that ladder. Every single fucking time. They do a sunset flip spot off a ladder onto a ladder that was balanced on the ropes. Why do they do the same spots in every fucking consecutive ladder match? Like, it's not even fun to watch. It's the same shit.
Yeah, I don't know, but this match was amazing. And I wrote, one thing that stands out from this compared to current wrestling, no one's waiting around for anything. Every character, every wrestler is like on their own fucking mission. Like, they got their own plan of what they're doing, and it's all happening at the same time. So sometimes it's sloppy or whatever, but that adds to the story because it's a fucking mess of a match, and no one's waiting around for big fucking spot fest shit. They're actually like fucking. It's like if they were in the match. Like, what would you do? Like, oh, I'm gonna set this up. Oh no, I just got hit by this guy setting his shit up. You know, it was great.
100%. Go ahead.
F in the chat for Matt Hardy's balls.
That's 100% true. And to your point about that, I wrote down go mode. So, like, you'll watch a movie that's just, like, action. Like Godzilla vs. King Kong, that movie is in fucking go mode. TLC 2 is go mode as soon as the fucking bell rings. It's table spots. Bubba Ray Dudley hits Matt Hardy so hard in the fucking head with a ladder, he busts him open hard way. Jeff Hardy does the big swanton off the ladder onto Rhino and Spike through the tables, which I actually...
Killing Spike.
Dude, I actually learned in the Hardy's book that they put out in, like, 2003 that there were two things that Jeff Hardy wasn't really happy about with this match. Number one...
the second one.
Yeah, you know the second one, but the first one was... He didn't want to do the swanton onto Rhino and Spike. He was like, in the last TLC match, we just did that. So how about I go up the ladder backwards and I just do a dead man's fall onto them with my arms crossed? You know what that is?
Coffin drop.
It's called a fucking coffin drop. Jeff Hardy invented the goddamn coffin drop.
God damn it, nice.
And they told him no. People are buying a ticket to see the big swanton. And he was like, fuck, whatever.
Coffin drop would have been dope.
It would have been super dope, obviously, because people pop for it huge nowadays. You tell the Dan-Dans about the second thing he was upset about.
Okay, so there's a spot where there's 3 ladders set up in the ring from the corner, like towards the middle. 3 separate ladders, and he's in the turnbuckle, and he's supposed to like run across the tops of the ladders to get to the belts to hang there, and he fucking botches it.
He botches it, and he came up with this idea. And it was Michael Hayes was the agent who, like, helped them put this match together. And Michael Hayes, Edge, and Matt Hardy all said, there's no way that's going to work. And Jeff was like, I guarantee you I can do it. And they practiced it, and he fucked it up. And he was like, fuck it. When we're out there, I'm going to do it, and you'll see. And he fucked it up. But that's the thing is, like...
It would have been amazing, though.
It's another thing about just how raw wrestling used to be, not the show, as we mentioned earlier.
Yeah, he didn't try to do it again.
No, he didn't try to do it again, and if you notice when he did the big swanton and when he does this spot here, nowadays, anytime someone's going to jump off a ladder, for no logical reason, there are 3 referees kneeling down, holding the ladder steady so that someone can actually jump off of it. Because if you even get to the top of a ladder, you're not supposed to. It's rickety as fuck, and you will fall off the goddamn thing. Back then, there are no referees holding these ladders steady. It's just, alright, go ahead and do it. It was so much, obviously, more dangerous.
Yeah, and added the immersion, though. It was great.
Dude, it was so... it used to be so much better.
And then, yeah, so we had the interference bits from Spike, Rhino, and Lita. Lita nails Spike with a fucking chair.
Yes.
That was fucking brutal, and then she immediately eats a 3D.
She right before eating the 3D, she takes her shirt off, which, like, not only, like, her doing big-ass moves, like she did, like, a diving Frankensteiner onto Rhino, gets the chair shot, takes a 3D, but earlier in the match, Matt Hardy did the same thing. He hit somebody with some shit, and then he took his shirt off. And to me, like... Obviously, it's hot that Leah takes her shirt off and she's bouncing around. That's great. But also, it just made her feel like one of the fucking boys, you know? Like,
yeah, like it's their thing. That's what they do. They're the Hardys.
Yeah,
they
and she was fucking...
hit a move and rip that shirt off.
She was extreme. She was fucking extreme. It's just part of it. That's what you do.
Yeah, you pop that shirt off.
Of course you do.
Bubba Ray and Matt take a massive fall off the ladder into the tables. There's like 4 tables set up, and it's pretty brutal.
Super brutal. And if you look closely, you can see the blood from Matt Hardy's head getting all over the table after. I do want to mention that when Devon and Christian are hanging from the belts,
they hang for a long-ass time, dude.
They hang for a long time, and Matt Hardy's the one who takes the ladder out from underneath them. And if you listen closely, you don't even have to listen that closely, it's loud as fuck. Matt Hardy gets under the ladder, he grabs it, looks up at them and goes, "Here we go!" And then he takes the ladder away. So just straight up telling them, like, alright, I'm going to do it now. And it just, the cameras picked it up, unfortunately. People talk about the Jeff Hardy dangling spot where Edge spears him out of the sky. But this is not the first time they did that spot. The first time they did that spot was in a throwaway ladder match on Raw, like a year or 2 prior.
Hey, sometimes you just gotta call back to the past.
Yeah. Tell me about the finish.
A weak finish.
Dude, I have to agree.
Dude, the whole match is a banger, like the whole way through, and it just ends on a Edge and Christian win. Rhino's like lifting motherfucker up the ladder to beat.
That is incredible, by the way. To have someone sitting on your shoulders and then he climbs the ladder and it didn't even look difficult.
Well, have you seen Rhino's legs?
Rhino's fucking legs, and to quote JR, he may be built like a fire plug, but...
Dude, it's leg day every day in the fucking Rhino Zoo, let me just say. He's a fucking beast, dude.
To give a personal story here, I have to say, I was so fucking mad when Edge and Christian won. I was such a Hardy mark, and if they didn't win, at least have the Dudleys win. When Edge and Christian won again, because they also won at WrestleMania 2000, and they won TLC 1 at SummerSlam, when they won this one, I was like, these motherfuckers!
I know, they kept doing that, and it pissed everyone off. Everyone felt the same way.
It was heat, man. They had me hook, line, and sinker. It was fucking heat.
But this is what a gimmick match should be. This
I agree.
Match was a lot of fun. Very intense the whole goddamn time.
15 minutes, 47 seconds, the new longest match on the card.
And yeah, just the fucking finish, I would have ended it differently.
I agree. I haven't thought about how, but yeah.
Just with like any kind of big move and then getting, like, I don't know, just lifting him up on his shoulders to slightly be faster on the ladder.
And it's like spot, crazy shit. And then we cut back to Devon on the ladder and Edge holding him down. And then we see the whole motion of Rhino grabs Christian, they go up, and he gets the belt, and JR's like, oh, they got it. It's like JR seems surprised that it ended that way.
Well, yeah, just so many big moments that this moment felt like nothing.
Do you want to hear a cool thing I came up with when I was a kid?
Yeah.
I used to recreate this match all the time with my wrestling figures, but
Nerd.
I came up with a finish that I've still never seen done in real life. And it's...
Oh, whoa, you're going to tell everyone the secret finish right here?
I'm going to. That's 100%
On Sting
true.
Money?
Sting Money, Episode 1, I'm going to reveal this finish that I created, that if anyone wants to use it, you can, but you have to give me a whole bunch of money.
A bunch of Sting's money.
Yeah, you gotta give me Sting's money. The idea was, the end of the finish is you have 2 guys from different teams on a ladder, and they're the only ones left standing. And it's like Matt Hardy and Devon both reach up, they both grab a belt, and they both pull their belt down. And then the referee's like...
I had the same idea.
Did you?
They would be a tag team together.
Yeah, it's like...
It would be an odd couple tag team.
It was at the same time.
And they don't want to be champs together, but they technically are the champs, even though they're not on the same team.
And I continued the story to the point where it's like, actually, Matt Hardy and Devon work really well together. So it goes from, like, I can't believe I have to team with this fucking Dudley. I can't believe I have to team with this fucking Hardy. And then they're like, they're trying to sabotage it. Because they don't want to do it, and the next thing you know,
accidentally winning.
Yeah, and the next thing you know, they're like 10-0, and then they have to realize, like, fuck, we're really good together. So then it kind of like puts a rift between Matt and Jeff and Devon and Bubba Ray, because it's like, actually, you know what? Like, I feel like I got a good thing going here, and as my brother, I hope you can respect this. Like, dude, why has no one done that?
I don't know, but I thought the same thing. So long ago, too. Has anyone else thought this storyline? Because the story writes itself.
It does.
Why do you not do this?
If anyone else has thought of this, we came up with it first, and now they have to give us a bunch of Sting's money.
Yeah, you got to give us at least like 20 of Sting's dollars.
We go from this straight to the fucking Gimmick Battle Royal.
Oh my god. Which
has like 10 minutes of entrances.
I have no notes for this, except Iron Sheik was awesome on Kenny versus Spenny. Which was a Canadian show of... you've seen Kenny versus Spenny, right?
A long time ago, back on Comedy Central.
Dude,
or MTV2, whatever it was on.
You can't even find it now, like on YouTube. And that was back when everything was horrible quality, so... It's not even worth watching, but
Hold on. If we're gonna go down that rabbit hole of stuff that used to be on that's hard to find now, I want to give a shout out to Human Giant.
Shit!
Do you remember Human Giant?
Oh yeah.
Paul Scheer, Aziz Ansari, and that other guy who's funny. I think Rob something. I can't remember his name.
Rob Hubel.
Rob Hubel, that's his name. They had a fucking bit that killed me, where they had just some bald guy. Like a Middle Eastern bald guy, and they called him Osama bin Diesel. And he, like, the whole bit was just that was his name. And they would treat him like he was Vin Diesel, but they called him Osama bin Diesel. Like, I can't properly explain it. Like, I've told 20 people about this bit, and none of them think it's funny, and I'm like, no, trust me, it's the funniest thing.
Dude, yeah. Those guys are great. And Kenny versus Spenny was like a competition show. There was this one guy, Kenny, he was an asshole. And his buddy Spenny, his best friend, his buddy which is short for Spencer, which is weird, but he plays by the rules. Like, they do competitions the whole time, and the loser has to do whatever the winner says or something, right?
Yeah.
And so this one was, who's the best professional wrestler? And Iron Sheik appears at the end, and he tries to shove a beer bottle up Spenny's asshole.
Oh.
Like a legit shoot. It was a shoot.
Trying to break his back and make him humble.
Yeah, no, he's trying to stick a beer bottle up that guy's ass. But Kenny's character was called Yarp Yarp. And he's just like wearing a fucking mask, and he had a hammer, and he put no thought into it, but somehow won. It was great. Every time Kenny won. And anyway, Iron Sheik, that's what I wrote down. He was great in Kenny versus Spenny. This gimmick battle royal, this gimmick match was awful.
I have a couple notes, and they're pretty much all about the fact that Gene Okerlund and Bobby Heenan did commentary, which was awesome.
Dude, yeah, they were clearly like, oh my god, what are we doing here?
Right in the beginning, Bobby Heenan is talking to Gene, and he was just like, Tony, this is going to be... He accidentally called him Tony because he and Tony Schiavone had called Nitro for years, and he fucked up. And Gene goes, Tony? But do you know why Iron Sheik won this match?
No.
He could not physically get over the top rope.
Oh, that's amazing.
So they literally just like, okay, Sheik wins. Because they didn't give a fuck. But Iron Sheik, his bow-legged old ass, he was old in 2001. He's slow as shit coming down the ramp. Bobby Heenan goes, by the time Sheik gets to the ring, it's going to be WrestleMania 38. WrestleMania WrestleMania 38 is the next WrestleMania. Like, in 2021, it's the next one. So we're still not there yet.
That was a great line. Yeah, this was something.
Gene Okerlund's talking about Doink, and he goes, "You gotta love this guy." And Bobby Heenan goes, "Why?" I did notice, though, that when Doink got eliminated, major heat from the crowd. They booed big time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this only goes 3 minutes, 7 seconds. This meant nothing to me as a kid.
The entrances were too long.
Way too fucking long. They should have had the golf carts like WrestleMania 3 to get these fuckers to the ring.
Because they're just a bunch of old assholes.
We got Undertaker versus Triple H up next.
No, we don't.
What did I miss?
We have X-Pac and Just Incredible versus Steve Blackman and Grandmaster Sexay.
See, I don't know what the fuck feed.
Dude, was that in the wrong order?
That's the Sunday Night Heat match from like 4 hours ago.
Oh my god.
The version you watched, they put it here.
Yeah, it was right after this. And I'm like, what the fuck is this match? I said, why are any of these guys teaming together? And I wrote, Steve Blackman dancing was kind of funny. X-Pac reminded me of... Have you ever seen this movie called The Pest with John Leguizamo?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Dude, watch The Pest. It's big time good.
Wait, is The Pest worth Sting money?
Dude, yeah. It's at least worth $100,000 of Sting's money. But X-Pac always reminded me of the character Ninja from that movie. And that's why I liked him, but... yeah, this a double super kick from X-Pac and Just Incredible against Steve Blackman was the finish. And I said, why? Why any of this? This doesn't make any sense in the show. What the fuck is happening?
Well, it took place hours ago, so...
And then I also had a note from the Battle Royale that I put after this, and I said, oh, by the way, Gobbledygooper is over as fuck.
What did you call him?
The Gobbledygooker. I can't say it. I don't know why. Gobbledygooker.
Gobbledygooker.
The Gibbly-Gocker.
Well, and I think nowadays people say the Gobbledygooker because...
Yeah, otherwise sounds like a slur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I've thought about that, too. There's only one other term I can think of that straight up just has a racial slur in it, but it's not used that way. It's when you're describing something that's really clean.
Oh, God.
Spick and span. That's the phrase. But it's like, I never say that anymore because I'm just like, man, I don't, who came up with that? I don't know, man.
Yeah, probably racists. But anyway, so my version had that match there after, I don't know. It confused the shit out of me.
Okay, we actually go to Undertaker versus Triple H.
Yeah, and we got Motorhead Live playing Triple H's theme song, and I gotta say, it's funny how the songs they did for Triple H don't even feel like Motorhead songs.
They don't, and
at all.
You don't even have to listen closely. It's like the Matt Hardy thing from earlier. Lemmy has no idea what the lyrics to this song are.
No, it's all about her and her.
Like the actual song, it's like it's all about the game and how you play me. It's all about control. Like it changes. Lemmy here at WrestleMania 17 is like it's all about the game. And how you play it? It's all about the game and how you can play it. Like, he just says the same shit over and over.
Hey, man, fuck it. He's already paid. Who gives a shit?
It's very rock and roll to not give a shit.
Yeah. I like to think that, kayfabe-wise, Lemmy hates Triple H, and he's just like, I'll take this idiot's money. Yeah, what, you want a song for Evolution too? Yeah, here you go.
You gotta pay some Triple H money.
Yeah. But I got a question for you, Ian.
Shoot.
Who would win in a wrestling match, Lemmy or God?
Well, I mean, you know what? Let me finish. When I start saying this, I was gonna say, it might be God because Lemmy died. But didn't Jesus technically die twice before Lemmy died even once?
Well, here's the thing. Trick question. Lemmy is God. That's from Airheads. That movie with the Adam Sandler, Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi.
I know, I just didn't want to steal it.
Okay. Well, I thought you didn't remember it. I was like,
no, Airheads is great. That's the coolest Steve Buscemi has ever looked. He looks cool as fuck in that movie.
Yeah.
And that is, that's some prime Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler work as well.
It's all time. It's big time. Chris Farley goes to a White Zombie concert and rips out some guy's nipple rings. You know, it's a good time.
I love...
Lemmy says, I was the editor of the school magazine.
I love American Badass Undertaker.
I wrote... You're going to hate me for this. I wrote, Biker Taker does nothing for me.
You're a...
Fake biker. Rolling, rolling, rolling is an awful theme song.
Rolling, rolling, rolling.
Real bikers don't listen to Limp Bizkit. And then I wrote, I prefer Undead Wizard, Taker, or Purple Gloves. I'm just like, oh my god, why was he a biker?
I liked Biker Taker because it was fresh. Like, he went from being the Undertaker, like the mortician deal, Purple Gloves, and then like the same thing but a little different, and then the same thing but like kind of a different outfit, and then like Satanic Undertaker. Where the fuck, like, those are all cool, but where else do you go other than, okay, let's do something totally different? And
here's hold on. Here's where you go if you go Undead Wizard route for the rest of his life. He becomes Shang Tsung, and he steals people's finishers after he steals their souls. And that would have been a great story. But I wrote, if he wanted to be a biker, why is he still called Undertaker? Just give him a new character name. Like, I'm fine with it if he wants to be a biker instead, but why is he still Undertaker? It doesn't make sense to me. And goddamn, Rolling, Rolling, Rolling is not a good biker song.
They changed it though. They called him
And
Big...
Rock came out, right?
They called him Big Evil, the Red Devil. It was no longer Rest in Peace. It was I'm gonna make you famous, or It's My Yard. He did change a lot of shit. I mean, like when...
But I mean, they're still like, it's Undertaker and he's still Kane's brother. It's like, oh, he's got a biker phase.
Okay, if you're going to bring up Kane, I want to bring up that in the video package, we see that Undertaker like gets this match because he uses...
Oh, how he got the match was great.
He uses Kane to lift Stephanie over his head, and he threatens to kill her by throwing her off a balcony over a cement floor. And it looks so fucking bad that is clearly not Stephanie McMahon that Kane is holding above his head.
No. But also...
I just love the threat of murder.
Yeah, it's great. Because there was a restraining order against Biker Taker.
Yeah.
That can't just call him Biker Taker. That's a better name. Jesus.
No, you can't call a human
Taker.
being Biker Taker.
Biker Taker. And he takes people's bikes. He steals motorcycles. Oh my god. Where was I?
The fuck
years
you
ago?
took? Bikes!
I'm gonna steal your bike after I throw your wife off a balcony. Brother!
Jesus Christ.
No, but yeah, there was a restraining order against Undertaker. He couldn't get near Stephanie McMahon, so he has his brother do it for him.
This was also before the streak was recognized at all. Like, it was purely by coincidence that Undertaker won 11 times in a row at WrestleMania before they ever talked about the streak. Did you know that?
Well, I feel like it's got to be a significant number to be recognized as a streak. Like, 9 times you think, oh, maybe he just got lucky. 10 times you're thinking, maybe, whoa, this is starting to become something. 11 times you're like, okay, this is a streak.
You know something I like about this match? Shane
What's
McMahon broke the Spanish announce table because he did the elbow through it. Now, in this match, they've moved the wreckage. It's gone. They probably stuffed it under the ring. And they take a standard wooden wrestling table and they set it up in front of the Spanish announcers. 1 minute into this match, Undertaker punches Triple H, he flies through the air, and he breaks through the replacement table. And JR goes, "It doesn't pay to be a Spanish announcer, amigo."
Oh, God.
It's like, what the fuck? He's just like
That's so racist.
digging at those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote, so, I don't know how in-depth you want to go on this match.
Let's just go for it, see what happens.
Well, I wrote, Undertaker attacking the ref was hilarious.
Oh, dude, okay. I wrote down...
that's a bit in.
Undertaker elbows referee Mike Chioda on the back of the head at 2 hours and 47 minutes. He kills him. Referee Mike Chioda does not come back to life for 12 minutes. He's just dead in the ring for 12 minutes. I don't think... Oh, I almost just said the worst fucking thing ever.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I literally almost said, I don't think Owen Hart sold that long.
Oh!
But I regret even thinking that. But
F in the chat for Owen Hart.
That's a good joke, though. Come on.
Yeah, never be sorry for saying something funny. You know, that's something a lot of my ex-girlfriends don't understand. Yeah, no, when he had fucking Undertaker just goes off on the ref, and it was amazing.
What do you think
Mike
about...
Chioda's dead.
Rest in peace, Mike Chioda. What do you think about the spot where Undertaker chokeslams Triple H off the camera rig, and it looks really cool, and then they show the replay, and he literally landed on a fucking crash mat, and they show 2 replays of it.
I wrote, there's way too much of this bullshit in the crowd. Doesn't look too good. I just... Too overbooked crowd bullshit. This match was real long, wasn't it?
This is the new longest match on the card at 18 minutes and 14 seconds. Now, there are a couple cool false finishes. Undertaker hits a tombstone on Triple H, which he had not done that move for quite a while. So this was like a treat to see a tombstone, because he had been using the last ride instead. It takes the referee too long to come back to life, so Triple H is able to kick out, so they protect the tombstone. Undertaker goes for a last ride, but Triple H went up with the sledgehammer, clunks Undertaker in the fucking head.
To the head!
And it's like, God damn it, but Undertaker kicks out.
Yeah, I wrote question marks after this. I'm like, Taker kicks out after sledgehammer shot to the fucking head? I don't know about that.
Hey man, if Triple H can kick out of the tombstone, Undertaker can kick out of some dinky little piece of hardware, okay?
Well, I also wrote, kicking out of finishers. What is this, modern wrestling?
See, you're not going to like this, but since Undertaker wins, he gets that last ride out of the corner. He wins. I think that means it solidifies as a fact that Limp Bizkit is greater than Motorhead.
Oh my god.
Can you argue with facts? Undertaker and Triple H have wrestled at 3 WrestleManias. Undertaker went 3-0.
Yeah, but how many of those were Limp Bizkit Undertaker?
1, but all 3. Well,
there you go.
Okay, but Triple H is 0-3 with Motorhead at WrestleMania against specifically Undertaker.
Look, if you want to say Limp Bizkit's better than Motorhead, 1, you're wrong, and I can prove it mathematically, and 2, you deserve every bad thing that's ever happened to you. But you can have your own opinions, that's fine.
I don't actually believe it, I'm just saying that...
Oh, you're trying to work me up.
I'm just getting heat.
I'm about to end this call and drive on over and read all your mail.
That's a federal offense.
Yeah, it's big time. But what do you think of the match overall?
I like this match. It's a fuck fest.
A little overbooked, a little long. But
yeah, definitely. The worst
Taker
part,
winning was right.
Taker winning is right. The worst part is the camera angle that totally ruined the chokeslam spot. But all in all, I think it's fun. I like that.
Triple H is selling is really good.
And Taker getting the last ride out of the corner for the finish is really cool, because it kind of it snuck up on you. It didn't seem like it was about to end there, and then it was like, oh shit, he got him. So I like that. But now it's main event time, unless someone put a random Velocity match in your feed.
No. Next is the main event.
Tell me about it.
I wrote, The Rock used to be a tiny little baby boy. His head used to be normal size, and I can't believe it.
Yeah,
because he's so huge now, and he's friends with Emily Blunt. And
I'm jealous of him for that.
I mean, could you imagine being friends with Emily Blunt and being fucking even bigger?
I can't imagine it, but I've thought about it a lot.
Look, I'm not saying Jungle Cruise is going to be a good movie, but I'm saying I would take The Rock's role if it was offered to me to star in the movie with Emily Blunt.
I'm not saying Jungle Cruise is a good movie, but I'm saying I would watch it because Emily Blunt is in it.
Hey, you want to watch it because Emily Blunt's in it with me?
I don't want to watch it with you.
Oh!
I'll watch it on my own time.
Okay.
Don't you think that would be... You don't want to watch that with me, do you?
Look, all I know is when Emily Blunt shows up on screen, I think we would look at each other and go, nice.
But yeah, I'm going to do that through the entire runtime. Like, I'm going to need a drool bucket.
I'm also not going to go see that in the movie theater.
Absolutely
it's not.
not.
Gonna be worth it.
And if I did see it in the movie theater, I would get the biggest popcorn. I would immediately dump it on the floor and use it instead as a drool bucket.
It's a smart move.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying, Jungle Cruise, it's 6 bags of popcorn because of Emily Blunt, and a real big hat, because The Rock's got a big head now because all the steroids. But back in WrestleMania 17, he looked like a normal man.
He did.
He was still pretty strong and super in shape, but he had a normal head. He looked like Ricky Starks, you know?
Shout out to Ricky Starks.
What a man. But, yeah, so this is the big money event, and this is what everyone wants. You got The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. Rock is defending as champion.
They made this feel literally like Batman versus Superman, not the dog shit movie. They made this feel like Captain America versus Iron Man. They made this feel like these are the 2 top fuckers and someone is going to come out on top. Like, this felt like such a fucking big deal, which is another thing that...
huge.
It's another thing I just don't think they're capable of anymore. Like, what I saw online, they're doing, like, Goldberg and Bobby Lashley. Who gives a shit? And they're doing, like, Roman Reigns and Finn Balor. I mean, cool. They'll have a good match, but, like, Roman's gonna win. It doesn't feel like a big deal, you know?
No, and look, here's a little spoiler alert. Growing up, my 2 favorite wrestlers were The Rock and Stone Cold. So for me, oh my God, what a match.
It fucking felt like Superman against Batman. It felt like the hugest deal.
Felt, you know, it's like mom versus dad.
Joke redacted. Now, you're not going to like this, but I think what maybe made this feel like Godzilla versus King Kong, you know, the Titan clash, is the fucking Limp Bizkit video package.
Oh my God.
It's one of the best video packages of all time.
The video package is great because, you know, there's a lot of stunners, there's a lot of rock bottoms. We found out Deborah was involved in the feud for some reason I don't remember, but she's The Rock's manager for... I don't remember that, dude.
It was a fucking, like... I don't know why I'm yawning, because I'm zooted on this fucking iced coffee. I will tell you that my hands are shaking, because I drank a large iced coffee black, and I haven't eaten a goddamn thing today, and it's 7...
No, that's a good thing, because you're getting the most... It's most effective.
I don't know. I get real jittery, and usually like when I drink coffee and I haven't eaten anything, I get jittery. My mind races, and I wind up like super depressed. So
yeah, no, that's the ideal state of being. That's where you want to be when you go to Dunkin' Donuts.
But then, like I told you before we hit record, I also stopped at a thrift store and I got a great camera tripod for $3.50. So this has been a hell of a day.
Dude, and you bought it with Sting's money.
I used Steve Borden's credit card to buy it. Okay, what the fuck were we talking about? We're at the main event. We're going off on these tangents. I just like in this match, Austin busts The Rock open by hitting him with the fucking ring bell. So then, The Rock hits Austin with the fucking ring bell and busts him open.
Yeah, he's like, fuck you, jabroni, I'm using this shit too.
I'm gonna hit you with this same bullshit, you piece of shit.
Oh, real quick, after the video package with Limp Bizkit, Paul Heyman does a shout out and he says he's boys with Limp Bizkit. So I wrote Paul Heyman is boys with Limp Bizkit. Hate Heyman now.
You know what? You're just jealous because you wish that Bill Durst was your friend.
Dude, you might be right. But I also wrote no DQ match all of a sudden.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
I don't remember it being no DQ, and then out of nowhere, then now it's starting. I'm like, oh wow.
And JR's like, what? What are you talking about?
Very great, super intense start. Oh my god.
Dude, I wrote down once again, go mode. This match is in fucking go mode from the start. And in like psychology-wise and logistically, it had to, not logistically, logically, it had to be. Because these guys have been kept apart, and when they're not apart, they're fucking clawing at each other. We're here, the bell rang, it's time to fucking go. So immediately, it's just 10 out of 10 action.
And it's amazing. It's everything you want. And so Rock gets busted open with the ring bell. Hits Steven Austin.
Steven.
It's got two first names, idiot. Like Mikey Charlie. I wrote, there's a real funny spot where something happens and the Rock gets hit and he's like sort of laying over the announce table and he like tries to crawl over it and it just collapses.
Yeah. Once again. These announce tables tonight, man. I really like...
Who made them? Non-union workers?
Oh, these son of a bitch.
They should have paid the union carpenters to make those tables.
Should have had them bronzed. I really like that I love the spot where they trade sharpshooters.
That's the next thing in my notes.
That was really cool.
What do you got to say about this?
It was fucking sick because I love the callback, and even JR was just like, shades of Bret Hart at WrestleMania's past. And then Austin puts on his sharpshooter. Neither one of these guys hold a fucking candle to Bret Hart or Sting when it comes to this move.
Rock's was better than his usually is.
It was, yeah. Rock's sharpshooter usually sucked. But
I wrote Austin doing the sharpshooter, like, probably hurt his knees more than it would hurt the Rock. I don't know why he would do that. Like, he's got two knee braces on and he's fucking doing a sharpshooter? It's crazy.
I liked how both guys felt desperate to beat the other, and obviously it's not this like epiphany I'm having, like I'm not smart, it's the whole fucking story. But I love that they trade the sharpshooters, they're using weapons. Austin locks on the $1 Million Dream, a finisher a finisher he hadn't used in years, but he's like, fuck it, this used to work, so he goes for it.
Rock does the Bret Hart Mr. Perfect finish gimmick.
Bret Hart Perfect, Bret Hart Piper, a great spot, but it's a false finish. And dude, on the kick out, Austin looks at the ref and he doesn't say anything, but his eyes are just like, that was fucking 2. That was 2, right? You know that was 2. Like, he's so fucking scared at how close it was. And these guys are just the fucking best. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, the Rock's selling... It's amazing acting. Oh my god. Stone Cold's putting on a fucking workshop, you know?
Everybody knows the drill. And they're going back and forth. Eventually, Vince McMahon comes out. We get...
Vince pulls Rock off after the people's elbow during the pin.
Vince
hits Rock with the chair.
This is like one of the things I wanted to mention is like, normally when there's a huge heel turn, like let's look at Hogan joins the NWO at Bash at the Beach 96. He comes out and then it's one thing happens that makes it very obvious and the wool is pulled from over your eyes. You know, it's obvious. This one was like Vince pulls the Rock off Austin and JR's like, why did he do that? What is he doing? And then Austin holds the Rock and Vince hits him with the chair and JR and Paul Heyman are like, what is happening? Like, why are they doing this together? It was such an abstract concept that Austin and Vince could be on the same team that Paul Heyman and JR are playing it like, what are we seeing? Instead of it being one obvious move, it's like, what the fuck am I looking at? And like, I don't think
we all felt watching it.
I don't think I've ever seen that approach before or since. The long con, several things, and it's just like, hold on. You know?
And then, so Rock kicks out. Rock supersells the stunner.
Yes.
That happens soon.
Kicks out.
Oh my god. Yeah, kicks out at 2. I wrote laughing. I laughed real hard at that. Because 1, it's the best sell of a stunner, and 2, kicking out stunners. Oh my god.
So he kicks out of those 2. Austin hits him with a chair. Another kick out. And then I counted. Austin hits the Rock with a chair 16 fucking times.
Wow.
And he pins him
he gets
for the
the
3.
pin. Yeah. I wrote, I don't care for kicking out of finishers. It's one thing that bothers me about today, and back then too. Surprisingly, the shit that we hate about today, it was still happening back then. So many people in the ring in tag team matches, kicking out of finishers, roll-ups, weak finishes. But
here's the difference.
It's pretty overbooked, but I wrote it might be the best match.
Here's the difference with the finisher kickouts. This was the main event of WrestleMania. They did not do this on a regular basis. It wasn't every Raw it took 19 V-triggers to pin somebody, or 7 fucking backflip Meltzer drivers to pin somebody. This was an extremely special occasion. It's one of the top guys is getting pinned. They let him look strong as fuck by kicking out his shit. And then the thing that did beat him, it's like, well, obviously, he got hit with a chair 16 times in a row. And that's another thing I've never seen before or since, is like all the big moves, they don't do it. So it's like, I'm going to beat him to fucking death with a weapon, and then he cannot help but stay down. I think this finish is fucking sick. I love it.
It legit pissed me off so much when this happened back in the day. Oh my god. Stone Cold and Vince McMahon siding together. Oh my god. I think I was swearing at the screen and I got yelled at probably. So, oh my god, my world was shattered.
That's actually one of the big questions we're going to answer at the end is how did you react to the Austin heel turn? But before we give our opinions, I will say Stone Cold himself says he regrets this. And it was his idea to turn heel. Vince didn't want to do it. JR tried to talk him out of it. But Austin felt like he did not have much time left before people were tired of him. So he wanted to get ahead of the 8 ball and he wanted to turn heel to keep people guessing. He didn't want to be Hogan, who eventually people were just like, okay, enough of this fucking guy. Boo. He tried to get ahead of it, and in his mind, it did not work. And he has said he wishes, after he shook Vince's hand, in his head, he almost said to Vince in the ring, stunner, and just hit Vince with a stunner and totally wipe out all of it. And let's just... That would
have been amazing.
So then the next night, it's like, I used you, you fucking idiot. You really thought I would team with you?
That would have been way better.
But, go ahead.
Yeah, fuck. Are we going over the MVP stuff, and is that what you want to do now?
Yeah, we'll get there. These last couple bullet points I have is Austin goes over 28 minutes, 6 seconds. Hell of a fucking long match. JR sold this on commentary. Like, Austin clinks a beer with Vince, and he's holding up the belt, and JR's like, son of a bitch! Son of a bitch! You just sold your soul for the WWF champion! Like, he was selling this like Hogan joining the NWO. Like, this was the unthinkable. And, that's how the show goes off the air. The unholy alliance is formed. But now it's time to hit our big questions, and then we'll get the hell out of here. What do you think?
All right.
First one. How did you react to Austin turning heel? And let's expand it out to the Austin heel run in general.
Okay, like I said, oh my god, they worked me over so good. I was so pissed off. And watching it back, it pisses me off still. The whole Austin turning heel, Dude, it was so bad. That following year, that's what made me stop watching wrestling.
You're not alone on that. The ratings did start to dip, and we covered that this pay-per-view did 1.04 million buys. The very next pay-per-view did 375,000. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. So after the Raws following and all the fucking bullshit, I stopped watching wrestling for years and years and years and years until you told me about a little thing called freelance wrestling.
FreelanceWrestling.com, the best wrestling in Chicago.
And I went to a freelance wrestling show. And oh my God, I did not know what my heart was missing all these years. Spark reignited, love wrestling again. Got huge into New Japan. I watched a little bit of WWE, but it was so goddamn bad I had to stop. But New Japan and indie wrestling was amazing. And then I'm a big AEW guy now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this storyline of heel, we'll put in quotes, because I don't think he really was a heel. It just wasn't good. Everything that happened wasn't good. The fucking guitar, hugging Vince. We had good stuff with Kurt Angle down the line, but I don't know. This did nothing for me, and it pretty much made me stop watching wrestling.
See, now this is where you and I are going to differ once again. I was so mad when this happened, which means it worked. I was 10 years old. I wasn't supposed to like it. And, like, it's hard to tell Stone Cold that he's wrong about it. And they say, JR and Bruce Pritchard have both been on record saying, like, it kind of didn't work because people were still cheering him just because they love Austin. They don't give a fuck, like, what he's doing. They love him. But when I was 10, I ate this shit up. I fucking hated him. I couldn't believe he did this. And then when he beat the shit out of JR, I was like, you are scum. He beat up not only Matt and Jeff Hardy, but he hit Lita with a chair like 30 times.
That was awesome.
Did not baby her. See, I fucking hated heel Stone Cold, but in the right way. And granted, I was 10, and so, like, if I was an adult, maybe I would have saw through it and been like, I don't know. But as a kid, I was basically the prime audience, and I ate the shit up. It worked on me. So I've always liked it.
Yeah, for me, it was, here's my favorite wrestler, now in a bad storyline, and it's like, and then the stupid what chance, oh my god.
That was later, though.
Yeah, but it's because of his heel turn, right?
No, he was a, wait a minute, I think he was a babyface when he started doing that.
I don't know.
Whatever.
We'll have to check the tape, as they say. Yeah, I don't know. So, this worked you over good, and it kept you engaged. You were watching through the whole Ruthless Aggression era, right?
Yeah, I started watching wrestling in like 96, 97-ish, I want to say. I stopped watching wrestling in 2000, the end of 2008. So I stuck around for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
I came back in like 2011 because of CM Punk. I left again in like 2015. And then when AEW came around is when I started watching again. So I take several year breaks whenever I feel like I have to. But and this is like an aside, but it was AEW that made me realize why I took those breaks. I grew up a WCW kid. I preferred WCW. And I watched WWE because it was all there was, but starting in 2004, I was a TNA guy. And I was a TNA diehard from 04 to 08. And then TNA even started to kind of lose me. But nowadays, and I only watch AEW, that's what helped me realize I've never been a WWE guy. Only like when I had to be, and I felt like I had to watch it. Now, don't get me wrong, 02, 03, 04, 05, there's some fucking excellent shit there. I'm not going to pretend there's not. But that's like the only period that I was a WWE guy, and it's because I kind of had to be. But anytime there's an alternative, I always prefer the alternative.
It's just because WWF's long-term storytelling is just so garbage.
It sucks. It sucks.
It doesn't exist.
I wonder how many people have tuned out because they're like, they're WWE haters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, they probably tuned out as soon as I started dissing Limp Bizkit, you know.
It's possible.
Bret Hart was my guy.
Yeah,
Bret
me
Hart's
too.
my all-time favorite wrestler.
He
But,
was my first favorite wrestler.
Yeah. But so I was at WW. We also watched WCW. Everything.
Yeah.
We watched them both. So yeah, with WCW gone, and Stone Cold turned into terrible. I was just done. And then years later, Marvelous Matt Nix, Big C Chris Castro, they reignite the spark in my heart for wrestling. And then I bring a bag of glass and it writes itself, One day we're going to get that bag of glass match.
Okay, we need to eventually we'll do a Sting Money episode about that freelance wrestling show. Yo, that's a really good idea. We should do a Sting Money episode on a freelance show.
That's a good idea.
FreelanceWrestling.com. The next big question, our closing questions. We're going to do worst first. What was the worst match on this card?
Dude, I got two. Women's match or X-Pac match, but I didn't know X-Pac match was Sunday Night Heat.
Yeah.
So women's match.
Yeah, Chyna versus Ivory is what I have too. And it's because it was a total waste. I don't care about it. They didn't care about it because the belt was off TV for 6 months. Chyna disappeared. This went absolutely fucking nowhere. It was a waste of time in every single regard. And fuck this shit.
Yeah, it was just a squash and no story there. Terrible. The only good thing was Chyna's bazooka.
What was the best match on this card?
Ooh, this is where it got hard for me. I can't decide between TLC or Rock Austin.
I wrote down, I'm going to tell you exactly what I wrote down.
I've probably watched TLC the most since then.
Agreed. I put down...
Watching this again, Rock Austin was a fucking banger, dude.
That's what I wrote down when I was younger, it was TLC II, but now it's Rock versus Austin. And I think the reasoning is, because TLC II is obviously fucking dope, but...
It's just more personal storytelling in Rock Austin. You see the rage in their eyes and the frustration. And
that, and if you put it under a microscope, they did the 4-table ladder tip spot in TLC 1. They had already done the dangling spear off the ladder spot. They had already done the swanton off the big ladder through 2 tables. They had already done a bunch of this shit. Like, TLC 2 is dope, but it's also derivative as fuck.
It's just TLC 2.
Yeah, it's just they did it again. Like... So I think my match of the show is Austin versus Rock.
And I gotta agree. We're in agreement for the first time
ever
since we've met each other.
Yeah. In what, 2012?
Yeah, something like that. Jesus Christ, we're old.
We are old.
Yeah, Rock Austin just so fucking good.
Who was the MVP of this show?
Okay, I got... Oh, this was hard. I got Matt Hardy or The Rock.
You can only have one.
The Rock.
Why is it The Rock?
Just the selling. It was the best of the whole show.
Great answer.
His acting was the best.
My MVP of WrestleMania 17 is fucking Limp Bizkit.
Oh my god.
Dude, the Austin Rock My Way video package. Listen.
My way, you're the highway.
You can make fun of it, but every fucking year, at some point, that video package is going to show up on your social media because it's still fucking viral. People see that video package and they're like, yo, this is why I loved this shit when I was a kid. That video package has got to be in like the top 3 ever. MVP, Bill Durst.
Oh my god. Bill Durst and all of his many sins. His ruining of these wrestling moments might be his biggest sin of all. Besides naming his kid Dallas.
Dallas Durst.
Dallas Durst. Yeah, I'm applying for the job as bank teller. Oh, what's your name? Dallas Durst.
Hey, I'm going to open my own yoga studio. My name is Diamond Dallas Durst.
Yeah, where are you from? Dallas Durst. That was bad.
No. That's got to be one of take two. That's got to be one of Fred Durst's grandchildren. Where are you from, Dallas Durst?
Real good. See, we turned it around. So was that really your MVP?
I mean, honestly, yeah, because that is what still gets talked about is that video package. I think that video,
but they don't talk about the video package because of the song.
So that's kind of the joke answer. I guess the real answer would be, I think it was probably David Sahadi who was doing the video packages at the time. So he would be the answer. So to make it funny with Limp Bizkit, but really like the multimedia team. Now the last question, the closer.
You piece of shit.
Hey man, you know what I'm saying?
It's all right. Yeah.
The last question, the closer, the main event. Was WWF WrestleMania X7 worth paying Sting money to see?
All right, so I would give Angle, Benoit, and The Rock about $340,000 of Sting's money.
Interesting. See, now I didn't think that we were going to say how much of Sting's money. I thought it was just.
I clearly did not understand the concept of this show. Because I thought about the exact amount. And I would give them. Now, this is money we're taking out of Sting's pocket and we're rewarding these people for. Now, the whole show, was it worth it? Yeah, it's a pretty good show.
It's one of the consensus.
That's WrestleMania's probably.
It's one of the consensus best wrestling pay-per-views ever.
Even the dumb bullshit wasn't that dumb, you know? At least the dumb bullshit was usually over fast.
I will keep my answer short and say this was definitely worth Sting money. So it's unanimous. It was worth Sting money. Now, as a little bonus, I asked on patreon.com/616entertainment, which is where this event came from. I put up a poll asking the Dan Nans what show they wanted us to cover, and WrestleMania 17 narrowly won. It was close between this, WCW Bash at the Beach 96, and ECW, I want to say Hardcore Heaven 97. So it was real close. And TNA Victory Road 2004 was also on there, and it got like 3 votes, but...
Well, that was expected.
Now, I asked the Dan Dans over on Patreon to share some of their stories with us. And we have Mikey D, who said that his MVP of the show, he says, I'm actually going to go with JR and Paul Heyman on this one. All the superstars did their thing. It's hard to pick just one, seeing as you need a good dance partner to put on a great match. Jim and Paul were fantastic on commentary and has that nostalgic feel to it. That's a good pick.
It's good. Paul Heyman was great. I disagree about JR, but, you know, Paul Heyman covered up for all his mistakes, so he had that nice greasy ponytail, and that's a great answer.
Mikey D says that the match of the show is TLC II. The worst match was Ivory and Chyna.
I think everyone's going to agree on that.
When it comes to what was it worth paying Sting money for, he says, a big old Tim and Eric, absolutely. Not only would I pay Sting money, but I'd also give this event 3 bags of popcorn and 6 bags of soda.
That's a lot of bags of soda.
That's a lot of bags of soda. Now I'm still going down. He answered all of the questions, which was great. His personal story surrounding this event was, during this era of WWE, I was in high school, and not many of my friends liked wrestling, and my dad never allowed me to order a pay-per-view because it was too expensive. However, a close cousin and uncle of mine were huge wrestling fans. They would order every pay-per-view and invite me over to watch it with them, and put out pig out on Pepsi and Doritos. Anytime I think of this event, I can just picture that stage set. I can hear Howard Finkel on the mic with that dome echo, and I can taste those snacks. Great times.
Dude, nice.
He says his reaction to Austin turning heel was he laughed hysterically at his cousin, who was very upset about it. Kiko Olvera gave us some answers. MVP of the show, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Best match, Austin versus Rock. He says the worst match was the Rights to Censor versus APA and Taz. What do you think about that?
Well, if the reason is because of the Right to Censor theme song, then it's a good answer. Because that theme song is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Kiko Olvera says that, was this show worth paying Sting money for? Yes. No doubt, arguably the best pay-per-view of all time.
All time, wow.
For his personal story, he says he watched it with his little brother when Kiko was 13 and his brother was 10, and they were amazed throughout the entire show, left with their mouths left wide open at the end. They could not believe that Austin had turned heel.
Dude, same. A lot of people, we're getting a lot of the same answers here,
G Newts says that WrestleMania 19 was better. He has a soft spot for WrestleMania 18. And he didn't answer any of the fucking questions that I provided.
Wow. Well, he's failed. He's failed the task for which he was ordained. And for that, we must express our disappointment in him. But he's still a Dan, so, just next time answer the question.
The last write-in we have comes from Michael Candelaria. And for the Dan who are listening here on YouTube, or maybe even from the 616 Entertainment Discord, I'm going to put up threads in the future so you guys can contribute as well. And I'm going to do a better job of weaving these in instead of just hitting them at the end. I don't know why I did it this way. But
I don't know.
Michael Candelaria says, match of the show, Undertaker versus Triple H. What do you think about that?
Wow. I think he's the only one that thinks that.
Michael Candelaria has named Raven the MVP of the show for getting half-ass run over by a golf cart.
Dude, when he got hit by that golf cart, it was fucking bullshit, yeah.
Worst match, he has APA and Taz versus the Rights to Censor.
Wow. Again, I think it's just the Rights to Censor theme song that's making these people hate that match.
He hated the Austin heel turn because he says he could see it coming.
I gotta call hogwash and poppycock on that, pal. No one saw that coming.
Is the show worth Sting money? He said it's worth every penny and then some, even though I feel it's massively overrated. How the fuck?
Wait, how can it be overrated if it's worth all of Sting's money?
That's what I'm saying.
$8 million of Sting's dollars, and you're saying it's overrated?
His personal story is, at the time I was training at UPW in Southern California and had made a handful of friends I still talk to today. We all watched this show together and have been watching pay-per-views together ever since, with the exception of last year. We have only had a handful of major shows not together. Watching wrestling with some of my best friends on the planet is always a great time, even if I'm not digging the product.
Dude, absolutely. Fucking Ian and Artis watch a goddamn Raw for Raw Talks. Fun time. Garbage show, but fun time.
For the Dan-Ans who don't know, back in the day, we had a show on the channel called WWE Raw Talks Live. And it was before WWE show... But take two. It was before WWE had a show called Raw Talk. We did it fucking first. We would go live on YouTube right after Raw, and we would review the show segment by segment. They did fucking steal it. And after about a year of doing that, I was so fucking burnt out and I hated it so much that we would start the show and sometimes I would just leave and it would be the artist on camera and I would just throw things at him from off camera. I would throw like 9 shirts at him and he would put on all the shirts while completely not selling the fact that he was doing so. It was ridiculous. Raw Talks Live was a whole thing.
But it was a lot of fun, even though Raw was terrible at the time.
Do you remember we did, I think it was for Royal Rumble 2015, we did a Royal Rumble episode where it started...
Like me, Castro, Robinson, and Artis?
I think it was me, you, Steve Schneider, a.k.a. Sean Phoenix.
Oh, Steve, yeah.
Robinson, and Nick. Castro might have been there. And it started with 2 of us, and we were reviewing the Royal Rumble. And then an arbitrary timer would run out of time. So the 2 people on camera would have to leave and 2 other people would come in and just pick up wherever they thought the topic was.
Dude, that was amazing.
There's no way... that was either a great time to watch or it was unwatchable. I don't know.
I mean, I didn't rewatch it, so who knows?
Yeah, I didn't either. And when I wasn't in the room, I wasn't watching. So.
We were all doing other shit off camera.
But what are your closing thoughts here on WrestleMania 17?
if you haven't seen this pay-per-view, if you haven't seen the PAPE, as the boys call it, you got to. Look, even if you hate WWE and bullshit, go back in time and watch this amazing pay-per-view. I watched it on a legal website. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell the cops. You could do that too. You don't have to pay goddamn Peacock or Disney or whatever the hell owns them. Who gives a shit about them? They don't need money. They don't deserve it because it's an old pay-per-view and it should be free. But yeah, it was a great time. And oh my God, it was worth the Sting money.
Or if they're going to continue to sell subscriptions for content from the past, the people who appeared on the fucking show should get paid royalties like actors do, which wrestlers don't. So, fuck them. Well, I also...
Fuck them. Fuck Selena Vega. You know, I'm pro-union. Every actor should be in the Screen Actors Guild and whatever the union is for stuntmen, because they're both. So, fuck Vince. He's a piece of shit.
I paid WWE $0.00 to watch this, and I paid a friend of mine $10 to download a great copy of it and put it on his server of a streaming platform which will not be named. And it was great. WrestleMania X7 is a fantastic show. It's worth Sting money. This was episode 1 of Sting Money, a wrestling retrospective podcast. I had a great time. Nigel, did you have a great time?
Are you kidding me? Can't you hear the joy in my voice?
Dan-Dans, we hope you had a great time. We love you. And we'll see you next time for another episode of Sting Money.
It stings money.
It sure is.